You can spend thousands on tutoring for a 4.0 GPA and still watch your kid graduate into $50,000 of debt. Good grades no longer guarantee full rides. Meanwhile, over $100 million in local scholarships goes unclaimed every year because families are looking in the wrong places. Welcome to Edu Steps Parents Edition, powered by Laddering Your Success. We don't do standard cliches. We build systems for your household. If you're a strategic parent who wants systems over stress, hit the subscribe button right now. Before we get started, let's introduce our crew. First of all, we got our founder, Festus Amoye. Festus, how you doing today?
Man, I'm doing excellent. Thank you so much for asking. Looking forward to the episode.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, we have our, man, has it been a year since you've been made a doctor, Dr. J, Dr. Crawford?
I don't even know.
It hasn't been a year.
I don't know, man.
He's like, man, it feels like it.
But see, he was always a doctor on the inside. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's just
yeah.
now just recognized on the outside.
We just see it for sure. Now we just call it in the fifth. There you go. I love that. But we have our own.
I said, now that I think about it, it was like May something, and we passed.
May, okay.
So yeah,
it's a little over a year.
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome, Dr. Jamarc Crawford. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. Happy to be here with you guys. Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for always dropping your wonderful insight and perspective with us. So let's jump right into it. We're going to start off with the B. Most parents act as passive consumers. Only 85% rely strictly on school counselors and ignore local funding until it's too late. We have to stop being spectators. Your team needs a leader who models resourcefulness. Financial aid is not a lottery. It's a negotiation. When you become a proactive strategist, your team learns that resourcefulness beats talent every time. For my parents out there, I want you to type the word system below or type system in the chat if you're ready to build a real funding system today. So for the squad, my first question for y'all is, what's the biggest identity posture mistake parents make when they realize their teen is entering their junior or senior year without a college funding plan?
The posture of feeling unqualified. So when you feel unqualified, that may not match the data or the objectives of the scholarship providers. Because you feel unqualified, you don't go to look at what are the requirements for the scholarship. You see what I'm saying? So because you have that feeling, you become misled. Instead of saying, let me go look at what the requirements are for this particular scholarship, especially when it comes to smaller local scholarships, some of them only have 2.5 GPA requirements. And so because you feel a 2.5 ain't good enough, you don't realize that somebody donated to that cause because they at one point had a 2.5 GPA. You see what I'm saying? So that to me is one of the biggest postures, is the feeling unqualified.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Festus is sharing. I think they should definitely go look and do more research and see, hey, what is the qualifications for these? Because there is money out there for all students, regardless of their situation and academic performance.
Oh, I love those points. I think to y'all's point, one of the big things a lot of parents do, it's literally connected to that point, is they rely on those counselors, right? They rely on the career counselors. They rely on those graduation counselors to be able to help them. But that's going to be a great segue into the no. The average school counselor manages over 400 students. They don't have the bandwidth to hunt down scholarships for your child, right? So we got to get out of that mindset of fighting 50,000 applicants on those global search engines, right? And focus more on the local utility companies, trade foundations, and civic groups right in our own backyard, right? Think about it this way. A student who applies for 10 $2,500 local scholarships with 50 applicants has a way higher statistical yield than a student applying for one $50,000 national scholarship against 50,000 applicants. So pause this episode right now.
Yeah, let me chime on to that. To people who haven't done scholarship searches and you're saying, okay, what's a national scholarship versus a local scholarship? A national scholarship is Jack Kent Cope, right? A national scholarship may be something that QuestBridge provides or some kind of national agency, right? Whereas, or even a Fulbright scholarship is a national, international scholarship, Rhodes Scholar. If you're looking at local scholarships, you're talking about Houston Lighting and Power. You're talking about Atlanta Plumbers Association. You're talking about Michigan Association of Nurses, right? You're talking about Kalamazoo Veterinary Association. You're talking about something that is local to your area, to your region.
Thank you so much for that, Festus. Yeah, much needed. I think it's when they say it's right under your nose. I can give this because this is the parent edition, but I want the parents to think about Toucan Sam from back in the day in those Fruit Loop commercials. Remember, what would Toucan Sam say?
Follow your nose.
Good. I'm not the only one. That's right. Follow your nose. It's right under your nose, right? So I want you to ask yourself, parents, does your household have an organized, searchable database of local opportunities? Or are you hoping for a miracle when that tuition bill arrives? Okay. So my next question for the squad is this. Why do you think families consistently overlook those $1,000 or $5,000 scholarships in favor of chasing big national full rides?
Doc, you want to tackle that one first?
I would say I think they're overlooking the local ones to go for the full rides is because the assumption would be, hey, if I apply to these full rides and I get it, oh, life is taken care of when it comes to school. And then to them, it might be the perception of less work. If I apply for this one big scholarship or however many few of those big scholarships are available, when they qualify for it, they apply to them. And it's like, okay, I'm going to put all my eggs in these baskets. But like you just gave the stats, Ole, you're competing with so many different people and the odds of you getting that will be less. That's not saying you won't be able to get a scholarship like that. It's just saying that the odds are lower compared to looking at the locals and applying. Now, that might take a lot more energy and effort and time simply because you're applying to many different smaller scholarships. But hey, we're talking about funding for your school. You're investing time to get money for people to help you with your future academic endeavors. But I think it's the assumption that, hey, it's less work that I would have to do in filling out the big money scholarship applications in comparison to many local 1,000, 5,000, however much that may be.
Yeah, I'll chime on to that and say it's two parts. One part is the marketing, right? So when you have these big national scholarships, a lot of times because they're even easier to find for organizations and institutions, it's like, hey, this 50 grand, there's 50 grand available. Whereas local scholarships don't necessarily have the marketing dollars behind it. You see what I'm saying? Because this is the big thing you have to keep in mind. If somebody does a $250 donation to a scholarship, who is getting the news out there? And I'll give you a quick story of something that actually happened. I got a local scholarship that was $500 offered by a local company. And the name of the company, a shout out to Mr. Welch, okay? But the name of the company was Houston Katy Appliance Repair Company. And it was $500. And what it was, I needed to write an essay about why small businesses matter. I didn't know nothing about business. I didn't know nothing about none of that stuff. But what was interesting was he put it in the newspaper, and the financial aid office had a notebook, like a 3-ring binder, with local scholarships. So these weren't big national scholarships. It was just literally something that they printed out of local scholarships. So you just go in there and flip the pages, and that's it. So you weren't even searching on the internet. And this was 2015. This wasn't forever ago. Long story short, I got the scholarship. I met him to get the check. And when I picked up the check, he told me why he did the scholarship. And he said, listen, if I wanted to buy ad space in a newspaper, they would have charged me X amount of dollars because that ad they sell that. That's how the newspaper makes money. He said, but if I announced a scholarship, they would do it for free. And because I put my business name on there, people then heard the business name. And then he said, I would have much rather given you $500 who needs it than thousands of dollars to the newspaper company who doesn't. And that's that's the mindset of the local entrepreneur. You see what I'm saying? That's the mindset of somebody doing it locally. Now, he was very creative in getting that out there. You see what I'm saying? Not everybody's going to be as creative. So it's important to look at your institution for these smaller local scholarships.
Man, wonderful points. Wonderful points. I love that so much. All right, so let's move right along and let's jump into the do, right? Your immediate tactical deployment for the next 7 days. All right, here's the household directive. Number 1, I want you to audit local civic hubs. So visit the websites or physical offices of your local chamber of commerce, your Rotary Club, credit unions, and electric or utility cooperatives this week. All right, second thing, build the spreadsheet. Input at least 5 local scholarships with deadlines occurring over the next 6 months, okay? And lastly, I want you to draft the core master essay. Have your student write a flexible 500-word personal statement detailing their career vision, which can be adapted for 80% of those local applications, right? So here's the thing, because Dr. Crawford brought up a good point. Part of the issue with doing multiple scholarship applications is I'm gonna have to do this 15, 20 times. But that mindset in itself is wrong. You shouldn't say, oh, I gotta do this 15, 20 times. You should say, oh, I'm gonna spend 20 minutes to get potentially $1,000. So if you do that 3 times, you are potentially getting yourself $1,000, $6,000, right? Don't look at it as, oh, I gotta do this stuff. Also, whenever you do these scholarship applications, and please, I want Festus and Dr. Day to jump in whenever, remember, there are gonna be a lot of similarities between what's being asked of you in these scholarships, right? So if you have a general kind of layout, which is what I said for step 3, that'll help you to maneuver, change up a couple things, couple lines, couple paragraphs in your application for those different applications that you'll be applying for, right? So time for our pressure versus purpose, all right? I want to check the pulse of the Edu Steps Nation. Drop a pressure in the comments if you feel overwhelmed by the cost of college, or drop a purpose if you're ready to execute that 7-day local search plan. All right, last question for the squad. What's the single biggest mechanical mistake students make when submitting local scholarship applications? And it doesn't have to necessarily be like a statistically driven, just from based off of your experience.
Dr. J, you want to go first?
I would think the mechanical mistake may be a part of the application, like Festus said, writing a essay, trying to tell them what they think they want to hear, instead of digging deep into their personal experience to connect with the people who are reviewing the scholarship applicants.
Yeah, let me go more on the objective side because it's a mechanical, and I would say is not filling out all the information properly, meaning you didn't put your last name, meaning you didn't submit on time, meaning you didn't put a copy of your transcript, those different types of things. So sometimes it's best to create a little checklist to say, hey, before I submit this, check this box, check that box, check this box to make sure you got all the details in there.
Funny enough, it's the small things that get lost in there. I'm still reminded of that. Was it Juvenile? Was it Juvenile or Too Short that had the scholarship?
Juvenile or Too Short scholarship? What was that? I'm not knocking them though. You know what I'm saying?
Do you remember?
No, it might have been Too Short. You know what I'm saying?
No, DJ, are you familiar with this?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but it was based off of their song, off of one of their popular songs. And there are two ways.
That's what I'm saying. If you go based off the songs, what you do, you backing the thing up, back the school up. What you know what I'm saying? If you're too short, you're blowing the whistle on the scholarship. What are you doing? I'm just all I'm saying. It's like, what we doing here?
You got to make sure you read those directions. Right? All right. So remember, parents, college debt is not caused by a lack of money in the world. It's caused by a lack of strategy in the household. Okay. If you're a strategic parent who wants system over stress, make sure you subscribe right now and share this episode with 3 parents in your network. Never stop laddering your success. Next week, we're going to be exposing why most high school counselors cannot save your kid's college plan and what you must do instead, right? You don't want to miss it. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to this latest episode of Edu Steps Parents Edition, powered by Laddering Your Success. For Dr. Jamarc Crawford, my name is Jamarc. Thank you for listening again. Festus, go ahead and hit us with the phrase that pays, man.
Hey, listen up, y'all. There are legitimate excuses for not going to college. There's no legitimate excuse for not getting an education. Thank you for watching this episode. If you like what you heard, smash the like button. If you know somebody who needs to hear this, hit the share button. And if you thought, man, that's fire, I need more of it, then go ahead, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next episode.